Hello everyone and welcome back to Stylish Nigeria YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video I'm going to show you how to cut and sew a fish skirt with two types of tail, attached tail and a separate tail. So that's what we're going to learn how to do today. So at the end of the day you can see this is what we actually came up with and it came out really fine. So guys, just sit tight, relax, and let's get started for our tutorial for today. If you find this video helpful, please hit on the like button. I would really appreciate that. Okay guys, so these are the fabrics that I'm going to be using. So this is the inner part and then this is the outer one. So most times when you want to make this kind of dresses, you can sew the inner frame first and then before you cover it up. So the first thing we have on that line, the first line I have on my pattern is my hip line, then my knee line. So I came down by 2 inches and then marked it and then the full length. So now we're going to divide your waist measurement. This part is a little bit faster, I'm sorry. So just divide your waist measurement into 4 and then mark it on your pattern paper, and then you come to your hip line and then divide your hip line into 4. Use your own hip measurement, okay? Use your own applicable measurement. Divide your hip measurement into 4, add it, and then you add your allowance to it. So guys, so this is my, I'm just trying to curve it. Okay, let me curve it in. So this is my hip line. So I'm trying to measure what I have exactly there, and then I'll bring it to my knee line. So I'll take out 2 inches from the measurement that I have. So I'll mark it on my knee line. So I'll connect it. So note that second line that is after my knee line is a negligible line. Okay. So the essence of that line is just for me to reduce the knee measurement more. That's why I did it. But if you don't want it, you can actually leave it that way. Okay, so you reduce the measurement on that line again by 1 inch. And then on the down part, I'm going to use 20 inches for the width of the A line or the fish skirt. So I'll connect that line now to my knee line. Okay, so like I said, that knee line is negligible, the second one down. If you don't want to use it, just use, basically just cut your normal A line skirt. The essence of this our tutorial is the back. Okay, so that's just like basically the essence. So the next thing, just add your dart. Use your half of your bust span measurement and then come down by 5 inches and then take out just 1 inch dart. You take half of an inch to one side and then you take half of an inch to the other side just to form the 1 inch of your dart. Okay, so like I said, basically just cut out your normal A-line skirt. Okay, but that second line is just to give it one kind of shape. If you have been following me, you understand what I did. Okay, so I'm just trying to write out all of my dimension on my pattern paper so I do not forget them later when I'm transferring to my actual fabric. So that's what I'm trying to do. So now place this, now cut out the front piece. So this is the front piece. I'll just cut that out already and then just notch the dart area and then we'll keep it. So the next thing now, I'll place my pattern. So this is the back piece. I've placed it. I'm just trying to rule out the darts, or sorry, the zip allowance for the back. So I will extend those lines. Okay, and then so I just came in by 2 inch. I'm using that same pattern, so I came in by 2 inch for my zip allowance on that top part. If you notice, it got to that knee line. So now I decided to bring it to the down, so you can see that's the allowance. So you add your zip allowance, place your pattern paper on another big pattern and then add your zip allowance. Okay, so I've added it to the knee point. You can see the line there. So the next thing, from that knee line, I'm just going to extend. So this extension, you can actually extend it. So that's the tail. I just use sellotape to sellotape it out. You can extend it however, but you can see the way I'm placing my what do you call it, my tape, just to check it and eyeball it nicely. So the next thing, I'm going to check how wide do I want my tail at the back. So for this, I came in, I think, about 22 inches, so, or 25 inches. So it depends on how wide you want it to be. So from that point, that first knee point, you can see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create like a slant, a triangle, a right angle triangle, excuse me, half of a triangle. So with my ruler, so I've marked that point. I had to come to the floor so that I can capture it. Excuse me. So from this part now, I'm trying to curve it in. I don't know what's wrong with my throat. So I'm trying to curve it back into the down part of my skirt pattern. So that's the skirt pattern. That same one we use for the front. The only thing I did, I added in what do you call it, allowance for the zip. So after that, I just curved it into that point. And then in case you want your tail to be bigger, so that's just what I'm trying to show you. You can see the way I extended it, and then you still mark it. Once you are marking it, still mark it and hit it to that point, that knee point. In case you still feel that it's not big enough, you can see the way I'm curving it. So this one totally depends on your fabric and how you want it, okay? So and then you still curve it and hit it on that point. So this is just like to extend. You can see those two added layers is just to extend it. So the next thing I'm going to do now, you can see how it looks like. That's our attached tail. This one is if you want to do cut together tail, this is what you will do. So now I'm just trying to cut this out. So I'll just cut it out so you can see how it looks like. I wish I can stand up and go and take water. I don't want to stop the voiceover. Okay, so you can see this is an attached tail now. So you can actually place this like this on your fabric and then cut out your skirt if you don't want to join the tail. But the only disadvantage that we have with this one is that it used to consume a lot of fabric for you to be able to place your fabric to cut it on more to finish the fabric. So now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to separate the tail. So you see from that knee part, that's where I'm going to separate because that's where the attachment actually came from. So now I'm cutting it following the straight part of the skirt. That's the edge of my skirt. You understand? That's that back edge, that place where you normally have your your what do you call it? Allowance or whatever. So now I've separated the tail from it. So now I still want to reduce it. Remember those two extra layers that I added? I want to cut one out of it because I don't have so much fabric for it. So I just cut out one. So if you still you can see that second line, if you still want to cut it out, you can cut it out. So now this is a separate tail now. So now I can cut my fabric. I can cut them separately and then join it at the end of the day. So this one actually uses less fabric. So with this, you'll be able to manipulate your fabric, the attached tape. But at the end of the day, both of them, they will still give you the same beautiful results, okay? So now I'm placing my fabric. So I'm placing the back of the skirt. So that's it. So I'll just place it. So I want to cut out the tail part first. So you can see now I folded my the fabric at an angle and then place this. So with this now it will be easy. I'll be able to mice my fabric and then yet I'll still have a full fit skirt with back tail. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to do. So after that, I'm going to just go ahead like this and then cut it out. So after cutting, so that center part, remember that center part, I'm going to cut it out. This is the side that is attached to the skirt. You understand? That is attached to that part where you normally have overlap, or what do you call it? I'm trying to get the name since I cannot even remember the name. Where you normally have your vent. Haba. Where you normally have your vent. So that's you can see it on the diagram. That is from the pattern on the floor. So now I'm cutting that part. So the only thing that is attached to this skirt is that's this the separate part is on that up part is zip allowance, but it's still the same pattern for the front and the back. So you can see now. So you can see now I've cut them out and then you can attach it back like this on the sewing table. But like I said, if you don't want to attach it, you can cut it straight. You saw the way I did the pattern. Okay, so now this is that part that is attaching to the vent that I've been trying to know the name. So I take out my pin. So I just make sure you mark it and notch it, or else you can go and sew the wrong side. So that's why I'm trying to the side that I would join. That's the center part. That's where I put a notch. So this now you place it on that knee part, back of that knee, and then you sew it down. Okay. So now you can see. So you place it like that and then sew it down from that knee part through that back, the back, that's the center back, through the center of the back. So that's what I'm doing. You know, it's separated, the tail is separated into two. So I've placed the first one now, and then this is the second one. So the next thing now, I'll place both of them together because I've sewn them. So when you sew it now, you are just going to sew it like that. to down. You see the long that triangle that we made, you sew it straight down like that. So that's what I'm trying to do. So most times this pattern, you try out your patterns before transferring to your actual fabric. That's what I'm actually trying to do here. I just decided to share the process with you guys because I want to make a skirt like this. So I'm trying out the pattern to make sure that I like what I have, and then before I'll go ahead and use my main fabric. Okay, so at the end of the day, you can see how it is looking. I like the roundness of that down part. Okay, so now after joining that back, I'm going to take my front piece like this, and then I'm going to place them. So now after placing the back and the front, you see the back, you see the down, you see that they align nicely. That's the side of the front and the side of the back. So now I'm going to sew everything. So after joining the side with my allowance, with my normal skirt measurement, so I'm just trying to trim this out, and then I'll iron it and then see how what it looks like. Just give it a good press and then put it on the mannequin. Let's see. So at the end of the day, you can see how it looks like. I am so happy. I love the outcome. I like it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the side of the skirt. So you can see the side of the skirt. The only thing that I'm going to do to this skirt when I'm doing it again, the front part, I'm going to increase the length. You understand? I'm going to increase the length with like 3 inches. So thank you so much, guys, for